I'm not a master at making fire from a wood burning stove, but you know, I've been doing this for so long, and this is our first winter here. I've probably done it about 80 times. I hope this one lasts. Look at Rio's new bed. Now there's space underneath for her to just shove all her toys. Because the last bed she tore apart and it was like your regular dog bed. It was circle, cushiony, but then she ripped it apart and had all her toys scattered. So now it's underneath there, but it's so cute. It's blue. I love the color. It's from Amazon. I'll link it below. Blue top actually is removable and you can wash it. So in the summertime, if that's too thick for her, we just take it off. And then this is my senior dog's bed. It's probably even bigger, but it's lower so he can just step up on it. He loves it so much.
This is my senior dog Max. He is unable to control his bladder, so he has to wear a diaper throughout the day. I change it out every few hours. He is very good. He tolerates it very well, and he's such a good boy. I love him so much.
Hello, welcome to the library. It's chaos here, so don't mind that. We just moved this bookshelf from that wall to this wall, so all the books that were about to fall shoved right back in. Haphazardly, there's a bunch of random stuff. We're gonna ignore that. Let's do our review for the two Alice Feeney books we just read. So the first book is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. It follows a writer, husband, who grieves the disappearance of his wife, and he then is shipped off to an island where he is gone to grieve and be secluded and just heal, while also working on his next book. But within this island he meets a bunch of strange people, he gets weird vibes from different people, and mysteriously witnesses a girl that looks exactly like his wife. The rest of the book, you're following him uncovering things within the island that is just weird and off-putting, and we're trying to figure out whether this woman is his wife, and are we uncovering something more mysterious there, or is he completely losing his mind? Is him focusing on writing a book and grieving his wife all at the same time making him, is everything just like working properly? Is there a loose wire there? We don't know. So I gave this book a 3 stars, and I hate to say it, but it is not what I thought it would be, and it is probably the lowest rated Alice Feeney book that I've read so far, and I hate it because Alice Feeney is one of my favorite authors. This book just wasn't it. Mind you, the storyline and the atmosphere was intriguing. I loved it. I love the island feel. I love the little shops that he goes to. I love the idea of him being a writer and writing a book while also grieving the disappearance of his wife. But then what fell flat for me was the characters building a different storyline that wasn't even related to the plot point. So we're trying to follow this other character's storyline when we could have been just finding more clues on what's happening in the whole book. It felt a little bit repetitive, redundant, unnecessary. I love Alice Feeney's characters and side characters that she writes, but these side characters, I honestly did not care for their backstory, and so to not even connect with them from the very beginning, I just lost interest. So that's one, and because of this tension and the final payoff, because of the other storyline that we're building, it all fell flat. I give it a 3 stars, and I felt bad. Because I felt bad, on the same day I started another Alice Feeney book, and it is called My Husband's Wife. This intrigued me even more. Very first chapter kept me on my toes, and I will tell you the synopsis before we get ahead of ourselves. So it follows a lawyer named Lily, and she is working on a high-profile case while also facing the reality of her marriage, how another woman is present in their marriage. You are following her in her personal life and also her solving a case. This honestly was like binging a really good show that's limited series. That kind of vibe, like it was fast-paced. All the characters were so good, served in a silver platter masterpiece meal. So good, I ate that up. Perspective, POVs is the dual timeline. So you're reading past and present. You unveil more of the story the more you read. It bounces between timelines. Some people like that, some people don't. I personally love that, mainly because you are building more of the story that way, in my opinion. It definitely was a stronger pacing and more suspenseful. You could tell from the very first chapter, you're already starting it right off the bat. There's no build-in, you're already there. You're in the story right as soon as you open the book, keeping me on my toes. And that's big in novels for me. Sometimes it takes 3 to 4 chapters to get me there. This book kept me on my toes right from the very beginning. Like I'm a ballerina already. I digress. It got everything that I wanted and was craving that I didn't get from Beautiful Ugly. I'm glad that I gave her another shot because I've read so much Alice Feeney books. One of my favorite was Rock, Paper, Scissors. It was great. It was a great thriller book. Anyway, I recommend it if you love thrillers, if you love Alice Feeney. Currently, I am reading The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff. This also is intriguing me. In the first 2 chapters, already locked in. I'm like that much in. 25% into the book. I started it last night on my Kindle, and let me tell you, the historical fiction dual timeline really hitting for me. Probably my favorite POV.
I have 3 new books to add to our classic collection. First one is the Enchanted April. Perfect time for the spring because it is end of March. May start this sooner than later, but I'm so excited. I saw a quote, I thought I'll just read the whole book. It's not that big. Next one is a popular one, Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. I'm excited to read this one. It's very short. I already feel like I'm gonna love it. And this one's a popular one. Recently, actually, The Door by Magda. I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name, but I've been seeing this book everywhere. No matter if I'm on Instagram, Facebook, or on YouTube Shorts. It's a bigger book, but I'm probably gonna go in it blind because I feel like the best way I can review a book is just reading the back of the page and not even looking at the reviews. I just keep seeing this book and I wanted it on my shelf. It's like aesthetically pleasing. Just realized that I forgot to give you a quick update on The Bright Years. Here she is. I finished this in probably 4 days. Quick read. Oh my gosh, I actually was invested. Thoroughly enjoyed the book. This is my first Sarah Damoff book, and oh my gosh, it truly was a roller coaster of emotions. It is a sad, devastating book full of traumatic experiences, a little bit too traumatic, and it just kept going, intertwined within the story very well, I think, in my opinion. I wouldn't say it's romance at all. It's historical literary fiction, and it follows a family
and it spans for 4 generations, which is insane. Narrative is a dual timeline perspective. She actually does it really well. You're not finding yourself flipping back and forth. She, I think, tied it together at the end very well. You have a family trope here, a very huge family trope. You can, you know, decide which characters you connect most with. I loved it. I love the ending. I think I enjoyed the second half of the book more than I enjoyed the first half. So if you are debating whether or not to read this, then I would say trek through it. You will not regret it at the end of the book. You will be glad that you actually fought through the first couple of chapters, because it takes you a while to actually get into the story. Kind of like how dual perspective narrative books are. You're trying to piece together what transpired to then understand. So just give it some time, keep reading it, and then you'll decide if you are loving it or not. I know there's a lot of people saying that it's a bit too devastating or heartbreaking for one book, but I think for the storyline and the characters, it actually ties together. I did rate it a 4.25, which is really good for my rating. It's very hard for me to rate a book 5 stars. If I've recently read another 5-star book prior to reading this book, I am pretty solid at the 4.25. Definitely have to find more books from her. This was a nice breath of fresh air for me. That is my rating. 271. It's not even 300. Short, quick read, also very fast paced because you're bouncing between timelines. Give it a go if you want to. Such a good book. I recommend.